That's right, Avery. We get yet another chance to be able to cast a Techies game. Geek Slate has been disappointing with this hero, but I have faith DJ is going to show the way, the path of the Techies forward into the land of green, into the land of W's and plus 30 MMR. Show us the way, DJ.
Too tiny. Oh, path forward. I do not.
So far, it's one win out of 3 games in the CDP. All of them being Geek Slate. And the one win they got was game 1 in a series, and then they tried it again in game 3. It was the versus Army Geniuses. Game 1, they won it with Techies, but then they tried to end the series with Techies on game 3, and they... So, it's... I'll
pretend I didn't enjoy this.
Oh, he's like just good enough to give you hope. Not good enough to actually close. That said, maybe DJ. There's a guy who can make it look good. It's this guy pretty much plays carry from 4. I have some faith.
Relax lang.
General, I feel like Techies want stuns. Kind of don't have any.
No.
So that's...
They got slight chains. That's what they have to work off of.
Yeah, that's not necessarily reliable versus Slark, who can fire or place it. You're gonna have night vision on night vision in this game between the Slark and the Night Stalker. That's a pretty interesting interaction in general. Honestly, if you bet me, would I ever see a Techie Stalker set? I don't think I'd ever take that. I don't know what the odds would be.
30 seconds to battle.
I don't think those heroes really have natural synergy.
I don't think they have any synergy.
The superior vision might be nice. I mean, it's pretty funny how the night versus nighttime matchup you're talking about, Slark and Night Stalker, and they both did the exact same thing because they have the superior nighttime vision, and of course the Dota starts in nighttime. They both ran to the mid lane to see if they could spy the other mid laner placing down a ward.
They saw each other.
The battle
and they saw each other.
Right, the one thing about Techies is I do think his laning is quite good.
Yeah.
First, like 10 or 15 is really strong if you just keep hitting the sticky bombs. You get a bunch of right clicks in. Feels really obnoxious on lane, and their lane's pretty strong. Death Prophet, Techies versus a melee core on Monkey. They should have a very good time up here. I'm like expecting them to snowball this lane hard. On the flip side, Bach should also free farm bottom on this Coddle. So I don't think you're stopping him with a Night Stalker anytime soon. But both offlaners for both teams should have a pretty good game here, and it's going to become a question of which lineup can accelerate off the ability, the auras the offlaners are going to buy for their team.
And Polaris is expecting to win mid lane as well, right? Because they've got the Slark versus Ember Spirit matchup, which is pretty favored in my opinion anyway.
Definitely favored, but the problem we've been seeing is that this mid Slark runs into some wall. I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like his first item is a little slow. He doesn't pressure the map that well with... He doesn't destroy the lane. He wins it, but he doesn't obliterate it. So I feel like a lot of these mid Slarks we've seen lately have not been overly impressive in terms of, oh, it's like a gotcha picker. I almost rather just have the Dragon Knight or something. The Dragon Knight Ember matchup, we saw a lot of those lanes. That looked really good. And then you have like, this pretty good Dragon Knight hero who just starts taking towers. But what is Slark's game plan with the lane win? That is always my question. What is Mac gonna do with a one lane? Then you're letting Corden come back. This is the answer that, or this is the question I am posing, and I expect an answer.
I feel like it always
pages by Monday.
I feel like it always turns into, well, the Slark is the carry, and then you're just left in this huge side lane deficit where there is a enemy mid laner that is making plays into the side lanes and crushing, and there is no reaction because the Slark is just kind of like, well, I'm kind of farming, guys, I'm the carry. So it kind of leaves you with this kind of, I would say, the 8 to 15 minute window where you just aren't nearly as powerful as the opposing squad when it comes to these small skirmishes that happen around the enemy mid laner.
And the question is winning mid by a slight margin worth that trade-off. In my mind, most of these games, it's so you kind of need to make more happen with the hero. I'm owning him. Especially when the enemy has heroes like Death Prophet and Night Stalker that can hit really strong early timings and take the fight. Not a bleed lineup that wants to sit back and farm. This is a bleed lineup that wants to do well in terms of on the side lanes, get early exo, get an early darkness, start putting them to work, pressuring the map, or getting core kills at least. That can free up space for Corden even if mid's going slightly bad for him, which it is, but as you said, to be expected. The real winner might actually just be Ashi up there. Rolling on this lane that I thought was going to be hard.
Not so fast.
Yeah, how is this lane? Like, I've seen DJ be a little distracted by CML, but double range heroes against melee hero. I thought this was a winner, for sure.
You know, I got a nice courier kill, and he's just been hitting them a lot. And a lot of regen for this monkey, who has 10 stick and fairy fire on top of boots. Really farmed off the early stages. He's just getting away with it. He just keeps pulling aggro, and there's no punish. Maybe level 3 is a bigger window here.
Yeah, and I guess when you pull the creep blade back all the time, like the downside is you can't get the range creep, but they have Monkey King and Rubik. Like these heroes. Oh, nice telekinesis timing. See,
get out of here, son. Get the hell out of here.
But yeah, they have 2 long range abilities to secure range creeps, so they really don't miss out at all.
25 2 on this monkey. This is crazy good CS for any lane. I don't know what I thought was going to be up.
You have been denied.
Showing up early. Hard and fast. Out.
Be ensnared in
Stacks up
fire.
mid.
Stealing 21 agility right now. Orton's not a happy camper, but it's just the way the lane goes. You're playing to get your level 6, and then you can start moving around the map and making some stuff happen.
The prize is mine.
I also would think you want to get some stacks up here. Nothing else is happening. Coddle can clear them, the monkey can clear. If you're worried about your Roshan in this game, a lot of times getting backs up and get you that window fast. Or it can just move around the map for you to be able to fall back on that, because I do think you have to think about if you're gonna get kicked out in this safe lane eventually. Where does Monkey go? To make a play bottom? Does he have stacks to pick up? This is as good of a lane as Akashi is having. I still think he will get kicked out by EXO unless you bring everybody. I guess it's pretty much only Mac. I don't think Coddle is going top to deal with that. Not on the plate. You have to think about what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes here. Side lane's panning out with the big ults. How do you react if you're Polaris, or do you just make the first move? I could see this monkey making the first.
Dire are
It's hard
scanning.
on the Night Stalker on the safe. There's actually a mid gank. Say that, and he's already level 6 on Ember. 1 creep off.
Arcana.
Nobody.
Yep, Arcane Rune for CML, whatever. Supports take the power runes. Ultimately, I feel like that's just a win for Polaris, because Ember Spirit with the power rune can do a lot. I've already talked about how Slark doesn't really do much with most power runes, so we do hit the nighttime, so Jackie can kind of be left alone, so Mirana can play a little bit more off lane, which also means there's a possibility that they can shut down Poke now that it's no longer daytime and Night Stalker's no longer useless. Toss back perhaps. Corden having a lot of his stats stolen. Didn't actually have the mana to jump to his remnant, but he does have the mana to TP away and jump back.
Very even and a very quiet game. Are we in
Radiant's
Southeast Asia?
bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
7 minutes in, no first blood. We had a pretty late first blood on that last game.
This looks like a Western Europe snooze fest.
Yeah, a little bit.
You gotta throw a little shade to that region. They're getting too hot. Out here all day just talking up shit.
Oh, missed the mine. That would have killed CML likely. Thinking about going for the suicide. Now it's a little bit too late. He hits him, and he gets the shot. Actually does manage to get it first blood. DJ now turns around on the Monkey King, just blocking him in. Got him with the disarm, 2 off of leveling from that kill on the Rubik. Jumping away. Oh, Akashi going back in for it. Does manage to get the kill, yes, but he didn't get enough Jingu stacks to get any HP back. So he is kind of low. Potential pressure point for Ice.
Bringing both supports up here. You want to kill this DP.
Yeah, they are. They've got a huge wave coming in. If DP dies here, it would be massive. They get off the Wukong's man, toss him back into it. A big win. That is like 6 creeps and a siege wagon that are just going to be whiffed here for the Death Prophet.
Absolute destruction here. A lane for Bleed. I mean, this monkey is having the dream start, man. 50 CS kills, 0 deaths. Just Russian Battle Fury too. Red's almost Battle Fury.
Deceptive rune of invisibility.
He can go ham because late game Monkey not really getting contested in the man fight part. Hero has a great matchup for Snuff. Pretty much just have to run into him in the Wukongs during the later Roshans, and Monkey gets to Scotty and he just kind of says, "What's up? What are you gonna do? You don't man fight me. Can't fight Jingu with this Night Stalker hero. Way too hard."
In other departments, Jackie is now being met by the mid lane Slark. Jackie is also free farming. He's just pretty much even with the Monkey King when it comes to net worth. But the Slark is going to be a problem for him. Also, in other news, Bleed, Corden, and Dubu attempted their first slight chains into arrow combination to see if they could kill Bocarino. It didn't work.
Radiant's top tower
So
is under
they're
attack.
going to need to polish up that execution a little bit better if they hope to be able to bring down Polaris here. And they're going to try again here in this top lane.
Dire's
Try
bottom
for
tower
Akashi.
is
They get
under
it this
attack.
time. Oh, not with the arrow, but the dodge there. The silence also didn't do anything. The blast off didn't actually do the damage. Monkey King dodged that. So once again, they missed the arrow and then they whiffed even worse.
Well, third time's surely the charm. You've had enough practice by now.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Exo's up, so you don't have this mech. Kind of annoying. Ice is having a rough early lane. They're gonna pop and try and
Another
force it.
one.
There it
Hey,
is.
third time is the charm. They're going to go for Boomy here. But look at Kashi. He's got the Wukong's command, and he's going to go
Going on
straight
the
for that
Death
Death Prophet. See if they can kill Ice. Gets the Jingu stacks, but not enough damage to be able to kill the Death Prophet. Meanwhile, Jackie is keeping the back line completely demolished. That's going to be the Rubik down first. Boomy gets the heal out, though, thanks to Bocarino's mech, and that's going to help a lot in this fight as Jackie is coming back into play. Silence out on the Slark. If they can commit and get the kill, it would be massive, but DJ falls a little short with the blast off. He gets off the mine. That does slow down Mac. Mac has to still back away, but a huge hit from Akashi with the boundless strike on 2. It's the kill on the techies.
They just brought everybody up here for this Exo, and I think it's the correct play. It's your best move in the game. You kind of have to make it happen. Polaris, match it. Just bring the whole squad as well, and his tower will stand. Through that Exo. Now Ice's game is really shot, because he didn't get anything off that fight. Really low level now, only 6.5. Tier 1 is going to stand. Now you can sit this KOTA up here during daytime. That was your NS ult as well. This is a pretty big window in this game right now for players to pull ahead. Missing ultimates for bleeding, you don't have much play action outside of the slight chains combo, which rather hit or miss so far.
Yeah, and that also means they're behind in experience on their supports. Techies, not level 6, crucial level for him. Dubu, only level 4, so we're not going to be talking about Moonlight Shadow for a bit, which is a way they can play fights during daytime when the Night Stalker's weak.
Players have stacked. They're just clearing them. Triple stack on both hard camps in the jungle. One for Slark, one for Monkey. This is what I wanted to see, and I kind of like it. They got it done. Got through that first Exo. Good laney phase from Monkey King. He's going to pull very far ahead now.
Reminder, Polaris desperately need this win as they're currently 0-4. They've only gotten a single game win in the entire CDPC this season. So, again, if they could get a victory, a series victory today, it would be going a long way for being able to keep them in upper division, or at least keeping the hopes alive, perhaps even as a tiebreaker or something in that regard. Bleed, meanwhile, have had a very rough time this season considering all their star power, and losing to the recently promoted Div 2 team would be probably a pretty harsh ego blow to a squad full of names that should be topping out the CDPC, should be, you know, looking to be going to majors, not just trying to stay in the upper division.
Shouldas and wouldas. major championships. NA would have the whole trophy room by now, so you know, and Dota's about what you get done, not what you should get done. Right now, both these teams are not getting it done. As you said, this is do or die. I feel like whatever team loses is probably getting relegated on.
Yeah, I mean,
Radiant
even if it's BLEED, who goes down to a score of 1 and 4, you almost feel like they're broken. Polaris, meanwhile, like they have faced up against all the toughest teams so far. Slight arrows. Umi is going to take a lot of damage here. Not quite enough for Ice to finish him off just yet, but a second slight does do the trick. Now Gobir Cypher going down. Ice, oh, he can't survive through that final blast. Jackie in a good position here to be able to maybe go for the Slark, but they can't keep him in place long enough. The silence lasting so long. The slight, no, Corden can't get him with the remnant damage, nor with the slight as he already disappeared into his ultimate. Nice slight dodge there, but still caught by the telekinesis and blown up as another blast comes in from Bocarino. Akashi managed to get the kill on Dubu, and that's going to be a second Dark Ascension. That is, well, not useless, but certainly not worth the trade for BLEED.
Didn't even get EXO off on that fight. It's another disastrous engagement for Ice on this Death Prophet. And he is really far behind now. This is concerning for BLEED because you've committed both your NSLs to try and break this top tower. And both times, players just bring everybody in, destroy you in the engagement. Sure, you lose Slark, but again, it's an Echo Slark who's happy to give his life for some big deal.
Right now, the Exorcism is going to go off, but Bocarino's pretty fast. He still has mech as well. A second change, 3 seconds. They're going to have to dive in really deep for this one. Perhaps an arrow or just run him down eventually. There was no help from Polaris. Apparently, nobody wanted TP to try and save that one. Looks like they're finally going to give up on defending top lane.
Happy that they got out of those first 2 fights and willing to give up the third. I don't blame him. Other big point of that fight is CML got Spirit Siphon. I feel like Spirit Siphon on Rubik.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower
the extra.
has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under
instantly
attack.
getting full charges, but also the increased cast range on that ability is massive. And then if he does have the shard, then that just makes it, I agree, one of the strongest spells he could possibly steal.
Takes me back
Radiant's
to
bottom
Oxy
tower
wiping
is under
Angel,
attack.
right?
Radiant's bottom tower
This spell
has
just straight
fallen.
wins you team fight. Recharges back up for CM. You gotta be careful if you're BLEED overextending into this Rubik.
Shadow.
And at the same time, it's night. They want to get stuff done here.
Slight arrow, but a force tap gets him through that little gap, and CML with the Spirit Siphons is not an easy hero to kill, especially if you don't land your abilities.
It's another Dark Ascension that Jackie just can't get anything done with.
Are fortified.
Hit some Ursa creeps.
You need to feel bad for Jackie here because I think he's going to the right engagements, but I don't think they're losing the engagements because of him, you know?
No, he's committing a lot to
that would have been an opportunity right there. If he caught Mac underneath the tower with that silence, it would have been massive.
And have a
Yeah,
Akashi's behind him.
He's dead already, but Akashi behind with the Wukong's command hits the stun onto DJ, managed to pounce on him and finish him off. And speaking of pounce, Mac is going to pounce for a little bit more. Corden's going to be locked in. Slight jumps over to the remnant, but he's right next to the Slark, who gets the final hit in. Ice, trying to return fire here, but quickly finds that effort to be stymied. Has to just run away. Same goes with Jackie. They can see the enemy, but they cannot stop them.
Radiant structures.
Pretty nice fight from Polaris again. Just bringing this monkey king to every engagement.
Oh, Dubu. That was bold. That was
Too greedy.
bold and greedy in capital letters.
I don't know if BLEED's feeling too good right now with his techies. Like, this is where this hero feels pretty bad. If you're not winning the early fights with him, I don't think they get better. Because this hero sucks versus people. Really
Dire's
sucks.
top tower is under attack.
You're going to have a fast EKB on this monkey.
I mean, to be frank, if you're not landing arrows, you're not landing blast-offs. So,
Very true. Also, they have some blast-off counters. Lightning Light, still
Yep.
lift. On some tiny...
there's a toss. Yeah, there's toss can happen. Gordon, jeez, Gordon gets blown up so quickly. He's just dying to CML.
What happened?
Just got caught on the low ground, too much damage, and didn't have the escape plan ready. This is
that old goblin voice line. What's happening?
Another arrow goes out, not gonna land. Bleed.
Radiant's middle tower
No
is
control
under attack.
here.
This is nighttime. They didn't push out. It is strong for Slark as it is for Night Stalker. Jackie's their best hero right now in terms of the game. You're not taking sweats tonight. You're giving up a lot of space. You're giving up kills. You're giving up triangle. I'd say says no more of this
just too much. They managed to get the stun, the blast off onto the Slark, so that's one. See if they can chase down a little bit more. Jackie again sees them, but can he engage underneath the tier 1 tower? Looks like with the Slark, they are just full in. Now they do have mech, they do have force staff, they have plenty of things to be able to reset here, so it's not like Polaris are helpless against Jackie's Night Stalker.
Yeah, there's good Slark throw off this Dark Ascension. Jackie's happy about that. But you're not getting the big team fight you want. You're not getting your cores back in this game. Ember and Death Prophet feeling good after an engagement. We'll push you towards that level 2 XO and BKB on ice, which is probably their next best time to just
in the flame.
force Roshan, something of this nature. Find a nice little tiny pickup.
Blood from a stone.
Making the
Radiant are scanning.
It's something to work with, but Monkey King might have just found more 2-man stun. But both those heroes are very mobile, so maybe that just wasn't the right targets to go for.
Follow. Something Akashi has to think about this game. If there's no Tiny to follow up with his Wukong, there's not a lot that keeps him off a straight jump like that. He does have to be careful about how he throws out his BKB, throws out his ult, and don't let Bleed just skirt around it, then be able to re-engage with items and spells. A lot of the team fight is still based around this Monkey King. It is very far ahead in this game, but kiteable.
Another daytime coming up as the 20-minute marker approaches. And, well, I would say that Polaris could take some objectives, but they've already taken the outer towers. Their team is not great for Roshan, at least not until they have Aghanim Scepter on Monkey King, so they just kind of chill out and keep getting bigger. I mean, obviously their lineup is heavily favored for the late game, so it's not like there's a rush on things.
I'd say it's favored, but I don't know about heavy. I actually don't think it's that crazy. We're talking full 5 or 6 slots on everybody. Death Prophet, Ember, Night Stalker.
They will
Damn strong. I think KOTA starts going pure utility.
Okay, I do agree with that, but surely Monkey King and Slark are both stronger cores than any one core on Bleed, right?
Then
In a straight up fight, yes. Doesn't have to be a straight up fight. The Batman knows many tricks. Much guile.
Much guile. I'm not sure if anybody's said that phrase before, but it's something new. Hashi smoked up, trying to find an opening here. Jumps maybe perhaps a little bit too early. They do have the Tiny to follow it up though, but immediately the Night Stalker with the Dark Ascension. The silence is not good enough. Mac is already on top, and he got the other target with Gordon, caught by CML's telekinesis. Now they go for more. Ice, ice, ice. Caught by Mac with the Aghanim Scepter, is able to keep those pounces going. He's got another one, just making sure the Death Prophet's locked down. They're going to buy back now, but it may be a bit too late for that, DJ, as they have just been picked off time and time again. Ultra kill. DJ wants to give him the rampage. That's apparently what's going on here, as Jackie is going to be able to limp way through the trees. DJ, though, has been caught, and that's it. Rampage for Akashi.
Just go away.
Damn, son. As if he wasn't having as good a game. Now it's even better. 5-0 off that fight. Double up the kill score. Why not? The 13,500 net worth right now going to be a Roshan because daytime uncontestable hero. That honestly just feels like the game almost. Like,
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do now? Even a DD spawn is just an add insult to injury.
You know, Gabe's like, okay, we can all see where this is going, Polaris. Let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit. Take a double damage. You get Roshan that much quicker.
Roshan has fallen
Aegis
to the
for the Slark. So they're not actually going to protect the Monkey King's godlikes. Do you think there's any do you ever consider that? When a hero has a godlike sphere or something like that, which is obviously
Radiant's
worth
top
a
tower
lot
has fallen.
if you give it away.
I think some players will consider it, but overall, it's usually there's a clear Aegis, not take priority. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Darkness good. Out of here, I think. I don't think this is a
Oh,
fight.
the toss. Plus the Slark chasing after Ice. Polaris always keep the chase going. It's up to BLEED to be able to fight back, and they just cannot seem to do so. They lose Ice, and the Wukong's command allows Polaris to be able to reset inside of it and back away.
And one of the issues in this game is Slark goes in and you go on the Slark. Kashi just follows up, drops Wukong. Even if the Wukong doesn't flash, it buys Slark time to reset. And then the fight's kind of bad for BLEED. Issues they're having. Only Wukong. Actually, pretty decent this game.
Yeah, seriously.
Because you waste a lot of this darkness. Jackie can't run into it. Half his darkness gone.
Yeah, the funny part is usually that it goes the other way, right? Usually darkness is good about getting around the Wukong's command, but the back line has
Radiant's
so
middle
much
tower is
utility.
under
They've got
attack.
multiple force staffs, they've got mech and pipe. It's not easy to kill these supports.
Not at all.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
We
attack.
saw this in the Batman 2. Natural nemesis, the Fishman.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Close enough for
Dire
them.
are scanning.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Talking about Slark, not the players.
Yeah.
Fishman might also like that.
So we got the Batman, we've got the penguin or a fish creature. What else do we got?
When you say it like that, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, Techies is kind of like the Joker. Yeah, I feel like that.
yeah, because he causes chaos and loses.
Oh, they're going on Ice again. And they just cannot stop this. BKB for Jackie, but he just has to run away because daytime, obviously. Toss over. Corden still had a remnant out. But Mac is not slowing down. He still has the Aegis, so if he can't get this kill underneath tower, he'll go for it.
But not mine.
Longer than the Batman.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Maybe Techie's fell in a pool of chemical. It's mine.
I think Tiny works for a pretty good Bane. You know, he's just a big man who breaks
I don't
you.
know about that one, dude.
What? You got a Rubik is
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Enigma.
Radiant's bottom barracks
Riddler.
are
There
under
we go.
attack.
Yeah,
Radiant
Rubik as Riddler's
structures
pretty.
are fortified.
Yeah.
You can
that
make
one
a
works.
set for that one.
Ice
has
staff.
BKB now.
Okay, Ice does have BKB.
blocked in, though.
He's blocked inside the Wukong's
You're
command.
trapped in here with
The
me.
Force staff actually gets Boomy and opens a hole for Ice to be able to escape. Kashi, though, sticks on top of him outside of the Wukong's command and keets going for more. He's still at BKB, by the way. Jackie has managed to kill at least 2 supports in the back line, so now it's the Joker's in. 3 versus 3, maybe? The arrow?
Dire's middle
Ooh, that
tower
almost
is under
caught Mac to
attack.
take away the Aegis,
Radiant's
but
bottom
ultimately
barracks are
it
under
is
attack.
just the first life for Polaris. Polaris still have so much more to work with. Again, Akashi still has his BKB
Dire's
ready to
middle
go.
tower is under
He's
attack.
just dropping monkeys all over with
Radiant's
his
middle
ags.
tower
Yeah.
is
It's even
under
harder
attack.
for Jackie to commit. His BKB is up on this NS. He did all that without it. Honestly, he's had a pretty good game on this Night Stalker. It's just too much to
Radiant's
carry.
middle tower
Yeah,
has fallen.
I don't think this game is on Jackie at all. He's gonna try and go for CML, but they knew where he was going, and immediately the fast pouncing heroes of Monkey King and Slark have a rebuttal with him daring to go for their support in. Mac? Maybe a little bit too far in, but no, he's not. Easily gets
Just anyway. Players showing up today. And honestly, I feel like there just wasn't some clear direction on how BLEED wanted to play the lineup other than they just go with EXO and try and brute force it, and if that fails, what else is there? Kind of crumble. Pressure of the tiny vein broke their body. Hell is their
He's pretty big.
Radiant are scanning.
20,000 net worth lead in 27 minutes. This is a way to start a series for a team that, again, has only gotten a single game
Radiant's
win,
top tower
and that was
is
against
under
Army
attack.
Geniuses just recently. We just cast that one last week, 3 days ago, in fact. Getting a second win and doing it like this has got to be a pretty big confidence boost for a team that had to face all the toughest teams at the start of the season to begin with. They
Radiant's
matched
top
up
tower is under attack.
their
Radiant's
team
top tower
in
is
order had to
fallen.
go up against Execration, SMG, Talon, Army Geniuses. All those teams in the top 4. And the order
Yeah, but those
is
teams
pretty
are in the
rough.
top because they beat them.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, they're in the top because they beat
You know?
them and other teams.
But if you're at the bottom and everybody else is at the top, then it means you lost to them. It's like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know?
Dire's bottom
I'm
tower
saying
is
they
under
still have
attack.
Geek Slate and Blacklist to play, who are not doing that. You know,
Yeah, I get
I'm just saying they get the confidence now. You know, they can have a very good 3 and 4 score.
It's true. And the thing about the
Are
end of the
scanning.
season, pretty nice for next season, right? I feel like that's what happened to SMG.
Yeah,
They had a pretty good
true.
end of the first season after a disaster start, and now look at going to Berlin. So teams are still pretty nice for your team. Jay, are you gonna skedoodle out?
No, toss back in. There is no escape. Arrow? Nah,
Fishman.
book.
Fishman on Poison.
Oswald is going for it, and he's got a BKB, so may not have the Aegis anymore, but he's got the invulnerability he needs. Ice is just, okay, Ice is just running forward. He identified the supports, and Jackie did too, and he tried to blink on him, but immediately pretty easily controlled up. An arrow actually does manage to hit the Rubik. Now the arrows are really landing, but it's just too little too late. Ice is gonna die. They have no damage about the Ember Spirit, and GG is gonna be called. Jubu is going to call this one, and I'm glad he did,
Radiant's
honestly.
middle
This
barracks are
was
under attack.
Polaris
not a fun
Esports.
one for BLEED.
Victories.